So, without further ado, I introduce to you, Mario!
This one here? Hello, everybody. Is this working?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So my name is Mario, aka the Salsa Shaman, aka the Blu-ray Bodhisattva. I'm going to share with you my story from health crisis to salvation. This is a Starseed origin story. I'm an individual that identifies as a Starseed. So we've got the introduction, and you're going to hear about a story of my former sickly state and how I found my way through salvation with salsa and amongst other things. And hopefully you can apply this story and experience to yourself. I love bringing humor. I love bringing big energy to where I go. So Mario is in the house, and we Starseeds are manifesting a new age of miracles. I know there's a lot of crazy, fucked up shit going on right now, but we are here, and we're here to show you what's possible. And these three things here are something that were sort of mantras for me that kind of like helped me trudge through some thickness and can't really see it, but it says, so long as I'm able to sense truth, I am free. Doesn't matter what else is happening. If I can sense what's true is not, which the ultimate truth is I am truth, I am free. So long as I'm able to breathe, I am source power. Doesn't matter what my diet is or whatever that. If I'm breathing, I can accomplish, I can ascend, I can do what I need to do through this mental state. And I say that because I at one point was completely debilitated and I couldn't really move. And so long as I'm able to express, I am love. I am a very expressive, creative, fun-loving guy. So real quick, this is my awesome logo. There's the SEDONA mountains in the background, Starseed Salsa. Just a little bit about my natural flow in life is I'm a very intuitive, naturally suspicious person. So, so as a child growing up in the typical Starseed story, maybe not so typical for me, growing up in a dysfunctional family, in a dysfunctional environment, in a collapsing city of false, inverted, perverted matrix. So naturally, of course, I'm suspicious in order to keep my self intact. And I was just a natural cook ever since I was a kid. I love being in the kitchen, and I'm very exploratory with how I do things in the kitchen and in my life. I don't jump straight to research or a computer. I'm very from my gut intuition kind of a person, and then later I find out where I was accurate and where I wasn't, and I refine and improve over time. And yes, I do study, I do read, I do research. However, my natural way of flowing is this very intuitive, free-flowing guy. So just wanted to throw that out there. I don't want to spend too much time because language is kind of like spellcrafting. But dis-ease, I was at dis-ease for a number of reasons, and don't need to really go into it. So how did I start making salsa? In that little meme right there, if y'all don't know, memes can save your life if you're going through a hard time. It says, ancestors watching me get my shit together. So I started making salsa after I was going through I was under attack on so many levels. First off, in 2013, I was hit by motor vehicles while riding a bicycle 3 times within 6 months. The first car that hit me was on the spring equinox. The third car that hit me was on the fall equinox. So it's very beautiful for me to be here right now with you all, knowing that we just went through the equinox. There's a culminating cycle of so many different things coming to an end right now. We're entering like a 0 point right now. So thank you all for being here and tuning into this collective experience, not just my story, but Michael and Carla and what all of us here are doing. So I was hit by cars and I sustained injuries throughout my spine and concussions. Fast forward to 2016, I had a very terrifying yet profound psychic experience where I was out wandering in the woods in southern Oregon, just praying for clarity, and I had a beam from the sun penetrate my skull, and heard heard this like heavenly godlike voice in my head that scared the shit out of me, honestly. I wasn't prepared for it. And all these information came, and then I got really sick and decided, you know, I'm just gonna suppress this spiritual stuff. Like, that was beyond me, I'm gonna suppress it. And went to, went back into work with what I was trained for, which is construction. A few months after that experience in 2016 with the sunbeam, I had a stroke in 2016, October 10th. And that was another excruciating, terrifying experience when that was happening. And post the stroke, that caught the attention of different doctors to kind of figure out what happened, what caused it, because I'm a healthy, vibrant, strong, able-bodied person suddenly debilitated. Whereas, like, even my spinal injuries didn't stop me from being as active as I naturally am. So 2016, life is spiraling out. I'm ending up homeless. I had a stroke. I'm starting to have all kinds of like weird twitches in my body, dreams, synchronicities, and all, just on and on, right? And it took 2 years of me working with my biased doctors and therapists and psychiatrists to get them to see, like, oh, we actually have a logically sound person who's gone through a lot and is processing shit. He's not bipolar or schizophrenic. He's under a lot of stress, and we need to help him. And finally, that's when they gave me an MRI. And in the MRI, that's when they found 2 benign brain tumors. One back here, and the other right here, exactly where I felt that sunbeam. And I don't know what to make of all of these little things. They're just things that I just have them out, and I kind of like not attach to them or obsess over them, because that would drive me insane. True. So 2018 is when I got the results of those MRIs, and my doctors, they call me and tell me the results, and they send me the MRI, and then on the bottom, a little letter says, may have cancer. And then they left me cold for the whole year, and I'm calling, trying to make appointments. They weren't responsive. So for a whole year, I thought I was dying. And that's when I started making my salsa. I was like, oh my God, I'm really spiraling out right now. It's either like I just take myself out now, or I do something. And that's what this whole machine, this whole thing that we're talking about here. So the system, we're all agenda wounded one way or another. So I brought my salsa to a potluck wedding, and everyone forgot whose wedding it was because the salsa was a sensation. And that's when I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make some money off of this. I gotta pay my rent. So let me see my notes here. So I travel around a lot. I organize events with other people, and we just raise the vibration. That's a key thing right here, is raise your vibration, and you can do that through so many ways. My way of raising my vibration is expressing myself, whether it's through song or just making noises out of my mouth here, vocal toning, So every salsa that I make there's a lot of love that goes into it. And I'll even say that I get into a meditative state when I am cooking my salsa and channel cosmic forces through my hands based on what I'm currently perceiving in the collective and what planetary transits are happening. I've been an astrologer for 13, 14 years now. So I'm always paying attention to what's happening in the stars. Let's see, what else? So in my salsa, what makes my salsa unique is that there are ingredients in there that you won't find in any other salsa, such as chaga, reishi, turkey tail, lion's mane, cordyceps, shiitake, turmeric, moringa, ashwagandha, maca. So I'm kind of making salsa through like an Ayurvedic lens. I'm not like a professional in any of these things or a professional in mushrooms. I've just, touched the surface on what they're about through other people who have done that work and applied it to my salsa. So you can do that research on your own, elsewhere. Hope that doesn't sound rude or lazy. So that's what I'm going fast with this because I want to have conversations with you guys. So that's how I became the Salsa Shaman and why I make salsa. And right now I'm just living out of my van, and I've been traveling the country. I'm now staying in Southern California, putting a little bit more focused concentration into allowing this business to reach its full potential, because Starseed Salsa is not me. It's separate than me. It's its own entity that wants to be an anchor for manifesting abundance, so that way that abundance can be used to physically bring in the non-physical blueprints for constructing new earth. Who here has tried sriracha sauce? Everybody, right? Do you guys know the story of the man who created the sriracha sauce business? So he was a Vietnamese Chinese refugee, twice refugee, ended up here in America, first landed fresh off the boat in Boston, ended up in San Francisco, and was doing the only thing he knew how to do, which was make the sriracha sauce that he learned from back home, and do grocery deliveries to the local markets over in the Chinatown in San Francisco. And so he found that as an opportunity to also offer his sriracha sauce out of a van. I love this guy. So the Sriracha Company is now an international multi-billion-dollar company and its own food cultural sensation. I believe Starseed Salsa has that same capability, and I don't think I had to go through the same hard story that he did. I don't think any of us in the future have to go through these kinds of hard, trudging stories anymore, because we are bringing back the awareness and the understanding of magic and manifestation. And even this act right now, I'm using magic together to help me further solidify what it is that I want to create here with all this. So where am I now? SEDONA. Thank you. I'm really fast with my presentation. So speaking of raising the vibration and creative expression, this wouldn't be a Mario presentation if I didn't play you guys any music. This is a little video of a friend of mine did. It's called "We Do This for the Children," and it's an all freestyle rap. I'm not a rapper, but like I said, I'm creative and a genius. So when I open my channels, things come out of my mouth. So yeah, enjoy this. Can you guys hear it? The sound's only coming out of my laptop. Multi-locational.
Felt like I'm hiding, felt like I'm hiding. gun, so get back, get back, get back, get back, get back. Multi-locational, multi-dimensional, multi-locational, and multi-dimensional. Dimensional, three-dimensional,
Hilarious, right? That's great, it's great, yeah. So this slide here has got some pictures. This is just a little bit, it's not entirely separate from Starseed Salsa, but you see here Medicine Wheel. This is out in the Grand Tetons of Wyoming. There's Joshua Tree, and there's a beautiful double rainbow there. The past 12 months, I've been living in my van, traveling the country. Last year, when the lockdowns happened, I said to myself that this is not a drill. This is not a drill, and now is the time to really embody who I believe I am and what I believe is my mission in life. Everything in my current reality at that time was false, was not real. It was all a band-aid that I created for myself as a need to survive from the traumatic experience that I've been through. My job wasn't real, my relationship wasn't real, my apartment wasn't real. All of it was false. So that way, when the time came for this pandemic to happen, I would be afraid and compliant, social distancing, stuck in my home with my medication and my injuries and conditions. I said, fuck that. I said, fuck all that. I don't need these doctors. I don't need these meds. I don't need any of this shit. I don't need this job. I'm gonna move to Arkansas. I moved to Arkansas from Portland, Oregon, not knowing anybody. My neighbor was the Grand Wizard or whatever from the KKK of the local district. Yeah. And when I got to Arkansas, I started having all kinds of activations and visualizations and dreams. I didn't know until I got there that Arkansas is world capital of quartz crystal, right next to South Brazil. There's also diamonds out there, and the only place in the world where there are phantom crystals, which are just much older quartz crystal. The water out there is very sacred and everything. So I received a lot of healing from that land and a lot of downloads on what is being asked of me. And what was being asked of me was to let go of my sense of what's normal and allow energies to reawaken other technologies within the body. And I'm still working through it. So I've been traveling. At one point, my van was chock full of quartz crystals from Arkansas, and I've been making a crystal grid across America, not done. I need to finish it before 2024 because that's when the next big American eclipse comes. So this is another thing that I've been doing out here. And us starseeds, there's so many of us out here. Y'all are starseeds too if you want to look into that. So my story, even from the very beginning, from birth, me standing here right now is I'm an anomaly. I'm literally a miracle. I was born in a family with crack addicts and gang members in Los Angeles. I was set up to go to the school to prison pipeline. I even was baited. There's a whole sting operation. I won't get into that. I was addicted to very hard drugs in my teens. On and on and on. And every time I broke out of a programming is when I got slammed by something. Every time. And the year I got hit by the cars was when I broke out of when I was able to transfer living from my mind and begin living from my heart. That's when I got hit by a car. It was also the same year I chopped off all my hair after growing it for 7 years. All these little things that play into the energetic scale of things. So I just share this all with you guys, just to know that, like, as me as being a living example, no matter what you're going through, what it is, like being able to find that center within yourself, even if you're debilitated, you've been hit by a car, whatever it is, like as long as you're able to breathe, as long as you're able to express yourself in some way, as long as you're able to sense what is true, you are spiritually alive, and you can do things, and you can heal yourself. The healing power of nature is beyond our current scope of understanding, and we're re-tapping into that. And it's individuals like myself that claim to be grid workers and starseeds that are kind of through demonstration revealing how all that is possible. So there's going to be a collide. I'm kind of like just ranting now. There'll be a collide of like the more like, you know, credential, because right now there's no board of who can be a psychic online. It's just a free-for-all game, right? Which creates all this room for fraud. And it makes it harder for people that have a hard time believing that any of this spiritual metaphysical stuff is real, because there's too much fraudulent going on. I'm really going off topic. Basically, that's what I'm saying is at some point we're going to have to like bring these minds together and start working together to really recreate new structures, new system, new attitude on like for example the DMV. How's the DMV going to look like in 5D? You know, like how's taking driving lessons going to look like in a spiritually conscious world? Like, is there road rage? How are we driving consciously together? Like, all these little aspects of our life need to be reanalyzed, reassessed, restructured, and elevated and increased. But I'm just a guy who lives out of his van making salsa. What's the vision? Of course, non-GMO greenhouse infrastructure, consciously sourced ingredients, a team of mighty co-workers. Our current economy is based on a Babylonian debt enslavement matrix. However, even after disclosure, the fall of the cabal, an economy and commerce will still be part of an ascendant society. So people who resonate with my dream will find me through synchronicities. I'm not going to put an out for hiring sign out there. It's going to be family, soul tribe, where we find our ways together. And I'll manifest with creative collaborators. For example, maybe a restaurant would like to use my dish, my salsa. So I use salsa as the delivery mechanism to share health with others and with delicious, nourishing products, and create opportunities for connection and energy exchange at fairs. I love coming to events like this and bartering and doing breathing exercises and just hearing each other's stories. And some takeaways, remember you live in a multiverse. A timeline exists in which you are sickly, and a timeline exists in which you embody health. Choose the timeline that resonates best with you. And that's what I did. And trust is very important. You have to trust yourself in what you're moving through, even if it doesn't make any sense at the time. Weaponize your throat chakra. That's what I'm doing right now by just talking with you all. I'm very conscious right now of my energy streams moving. And so we live in a syntactical universe, meaning that words create form. Your verbal edits shape your reality. Speak your desired state as if it already exists. My birth-given name was Alex. I changed my name to Mario because I recognized that I reached the point where now everybody that was in my life associated my name with my sickly state. They were keeping me in a container. That's that collective energy of us together. So now it was no longer, hey Alex, how are you doing? How's your day going? It was, hey Alex, how's your head? How's your back? How's your everything? And where attention goes, energy flows. So now every time someone's coming to me and asking me those questions, I feel obligated to start doing that. And I recognize that when people were coming and checking up on me, I ended up worse than I was before they visited. So I changed my name and demanded everyone stop calling me Alex. And I really do feel that helped, along with my decision to leave everything I felt was false in my life. So speak your optimal state, even if it feels fictional at the time, for at least 21 days. If I told you to smoke a cigarette every 21 days, you'd probably develop a habit. Concrete your desires into tangible reality. I am practicing that. Yeah, I'm not perfect out here. I'm a little rough around the edges. And so what else I got here? Treat your health experience as if you are a video game character. Perceive your body as a code reading device, a disease's code of sorts. I don't know if you guys heard when Michael was here talking, but he talked about when he had bites from a scorpion, and because he has that understanding and that awareness, he was able to communicate with his body to physically excrete that scorpion venom, which is really cool, right? So we live in a holographic universe, and this is the vessel I chose to embody in this game. And everything is shifting, the paradigm shifting, the vibrations are increasing. They're telling us all these stories, and they're attacking us through the air, through the water, through the food, to try to slow us down and lower our state of consciousness. But there's only so much of that they can do when there are rising, powerful individuals with massive spheres of influence. See the issue, acknowledge the issue, and release the issue. You will be amazed at the health results. That's literally what I did. And the last time I had to go do a curious doctor checkup just to see how my body has been, deciding to just cut everything cold turkey and move across the country, tumors were gone. I stopped my medication midway through my process, and I had an MRI on my spine, and my herniated discs were gone too. I still have torn facets in my hips and whatnot, but no more bulging discs. And I do believe that it was these types of methods, even though it seemed crazy, even though I was still embedded, hardwired in that story of, oh, I got hit by cars 3 times. I hurt because of that. Oh, I had a stroke and this pain because of that. You know, over time, I eventually felt all that noise, all that energy leave my nervous system, and it was a lot. It was a lot of emotion, a lot of energies that come out, and there was a state in between all of that where I was unfamiliar with not feeling sick, you know, not feeling well. Feeling good felt foreign to me for a minute, and I just gotta keep going with it, recreating yourself. So embody your heaven on earth codes. This is my heaven on earth code. Okay, I know we're at war on so many levels, but I don't like to fight this war through the lens of war. I don't even like to call it war. I like to call it a party. Okay, we're out here partying. This is a revolution, and I'm done with the war polarity dynamic, because I'm down here to party and raise the vibration. And every good party needs some chips and salsa. So that's my sole purpose here in this life, is to bring good vibrations, to bring smiles across faces, share my story, not in victim mode, not for anybody to feel sad or sorry about me, but to feel inspired and to recognize that they too have that ability to transform themselves and bring in heaven on earth codes, however the way you want it. I'm sure you guys know the term, the age of Aquarius, and that's talked about a lot. Something that's not talked about is what's the opposite of Aquarius? Leo. In order for the true potential of the Aquarian age to accomplish, we have to master Leo. What's Leo? Leo's ruled by the sun. Leo's royal, king, queen energy. And Aquarius is everybody gather and let's have one big party. If you have one big party with everybody that's not embodying their inner solar power and their true authentic expression, we're going to continue repeating that separation, that polarity, that insecurity, that war. So I ask of all of you to be who you are in your full authentic expression, no matter how weird or freaky it is. Because you are a king or a queen, and I recognize that and honor that and respect that. And we need to be practicing that. Questions? Sorry.
Look here. That map that was part of the kid movie, what were those notes on the Mexico, I think? What was that? Was that child trafficking? What was that?
Yeah. So the video.
Yeah, I couldn't read it.
Oh yeah, it was a map of different countries and places around the world. And my friend, we were freestyling, so it was all unscripted, just channel flow, stream of consciousness. And we just so happened to bring up human trafficking and things that are going on to children around the world here. So that's what that was. Anything
I
else?
thought it was, I just couldn't
Yes.
see it.
I was wondering what, if you're willing to share, what's been the hardest thing for you to accept about this version of yourself?
Where I stand right now,
Yeah.
that I still have a lot of work to do. That I'm only halfway through. Seriously, which is very humbling. As much as I've been able to overcome and accomplish and stand here fully embodying and representing myself as a miracle and a starseed, I am by no means perfect and still have a lot of work to do on myself. Yeah, and the growth and development of my business is parallel reflective to my growth right now.
Do you just, sorry.
Mhm.
Mario, what's in your salsa that's not just tasty, but high vibe?
My energy. Yeah, I take it very serious when I'm cooking salsa. My energy and the mushrooms I put in there, and I add, in some of my recipes, I add curry, I add turmeric. So, one of my slogans is spices from east to west. So it's really salsa, unlike, you're not gonna find it anywhere else.
Where else do you sell it? Just at, from your van right now, or do you have it available?
Events. I do have a website, but I don't take orders from my website. Right now I prefer Instagram, and I do a lot of shipping all over the country, Hawaii, Maine, of my salsa. So you can definitely order online. Michael and Carla have been regular customers of mine for almost this whole year now, so thank you.
It's amazing. It's like no other salsa I've ever had in my life. It's my favorite thing.
Yes.
It
What's
really
your
is.
IG?
It's so different.
My Instagram is starseed.salsa. My website is starseedsalsa.com. Right now I'm a one-man production team. I did have help with my website with my brother out here. Yeah,
Cool.
it's been really cool. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Hey, good to see you.
A couple of things. So the choices of mushrooms that you use, is that per flavor? Does it change? Is it consistent?
Not for flavor. My goal is to you not to be able to taste the mushrooms in there. So I add a blend of just the powerhouse hitting ones. I don't know if you've heard of Paul Stamus, but he's the mushroom guy, and he's like the one kind of leading the way of this breakthrough understanding of what's always been available to us. And so I go a lot based off of his work and add those mushrooms in there, in the salsa. Yeah.
And then I love your ley line work or your grid work that you're doing. So how many of you placed? Where are you, told to go, and where do you still need to go?
Great, I'm glad. I was hoping somebody would ask that question. So when I was in Arkansas, I was having a series of, I've been a lucid dreamer since I was a child. I can tell you dreams I remember from the age 5. So in Arkansas, I was having dreams of seeing maps of America and lines going through random points of location. And the whole time there was this other being present that was repeating, "Don't forget, you're the Stargate. Don't forget, you're the Stargate." Just repeating it as they're showing me all these points. And so I'm like, okay, what does it mean? What do I, what? And and so my method is, when I'm having these kinds of experiences, to not obsess in trying to figure out that kind of stuff, because that brings me out of alignment, that brings me out of the authenticity of what's trying to be transmitted to me, and I just wait and sit with it and allow the universe and my team to reveal it to me. And what was later revealed is this massive medicine wheel that spans through half of the country of the US and dips into southern parts of Canada. The center of the medicine wheel is the Grand Tetons, and there are 19 points along it, and each point are mountains, rivers, and large body of water. This particular medicine wheel has a special connection to the grandmothers, the sacred grandmothers, this motherly energy around the world. And we're at a time where a lot of old prophecies are coming to their culminating points. And so I believe that the work being done with this is helping this mother wound thing. Particularly, it's interesting. I can't really tell you all how I've come to break this down, but it has to do something with the mother wound and the son. It's not the daughter or anything. It's specifically mother-son wound, and it has to do with masculine and feminine energies and an insertion that happened at some other distant point in time. And this insertion was a virus, an energetic spiritual virus. And these people, like this Masonic Lodge, like they know what they're doing. They know they're very smart, evil geniuses. They know about the ley lines, dragon lines, whatever you want to call them. And typically, all the churches, statues, all that kind of stuff, they're not there by accident. They're there and they're either amplifying or siphoning and directing their version of the matrix that they want emitted, because it's us that's solidifying, that's the physical effect. So I have hit the lower half of this medicine wheel so far and have hit Grand Teton. I'm nervous about this because it's asking of a lot, and it's crazy because I'm the only one that is having this dialogue. So even sharing it, it's like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm supposed to do this thing, and it's going to free up the earth, because this massive wheel, every point along this wheel is also connected to another wheel. For example, Mount Shasta is one of it, and Mount Shasta has its own energetic grid, and that grid is connected to another grid, and they all go across the world. And from what I'm understanding is all these wheels within wheels and all that kind of stuff is that the angelic codes, the angelic energy of that's in this earth realm is locked and sealed away through these grids. And so something in a conversation happening with people elsewhere is that there's a rise of angelic energy, and that rise of angelic energy is also connected to the bird tribe, which the bird tribes are also connected to the rainbow family, which is part of a Hopi Indian prophecy. And there's all different kinds of prophecies that we're told that are happening now at this time. Does that answer the question?
Well, that was good. There was a lot to that. So you're still working on a lot of them. You get, as you're traveling around, you might have a sense this place needs one.
Yeah, and nature and the other forces have been training me to stop being so arrogant, and to actually listen and tune in, and to not always plan ahead and try to make sense of everything. And they've played all kinds of funny games on me, where they cause me to get frustrated because something is not going my way, and like I get detours somewhere on the road or whatever. And every time one of these little frustrating detours happen, I'm always led to a stranded tire somewhere. There's a big rubber tire, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you want me to pull this tire out of here and move it somewhere else? Is that what's going on here? And so it's training. It's like, because what happened was that my higher self had a conversation with the land that I was traveling through, not this human conscious self, because I wasn't actively tapping into my channels. So my higher self had this conversation, and it's like a game, it's a training. This is living on Earth is our current era mystical school. We can go to school and all that stuff, but living this life here on this planet is the ultimate mystical school. I can only speak for myself, but I know I've done lifetimes doing all the other stuff, so I'm not going to waste my breath doing that stuff in this lifetime. I'm here to party. Anyways, don't mean to offend anybody. Yeah, anything
Thank
else?
you for that work, though, and
Mhm.
conscious effort of making that difference.
You're welcome, thank you.
So what else are you doing to help heal and what you have gone through? Medication and all that, what have you done to heal?
Yeah, meditation. I practiced the Wim Hof breathing technique. I was just doing it with someone sitting here earlier. I started doing that 5-6 years ago, along with cold showers and ice baths. There was a point where if I didn't do the Wim Hof breathing and take an ice bath every day, then I couldn't function that day. I would just be in too much pain. And so there came a point where I had to have that real, honest conversation with myself and be like, listen, dude, you're not happy, right? Your body's inflamed and you got all this pain going on, but you already are aware of so many things that you can do in your power that will help minimize or alleviate that pain, and you're not doing it. So what are you doing anyways? Why are you crying? Why are you complaining? Do it. Do the breathing. Take the damn cold shower. And I started taking that seriously, and it helped. The Wim Hof method is a literal body hack to transfer your body living in the reptilian state of fight, flight, freeze, and transfer into rest and digest. It helps you bring your conscious awareness out of that reptilian part of your brain into your cerebral cortex, where you can be more cognitive. And that whole exercise releases a lot of good, happy, feel-good hormones and endorphins in the body, and the list of positive things help. So I was doing that, cold showers, and at the time I was really practicing Nichiren Buddhism, and my Buddhist community were really helping me by encouraging me to not give up and telling me that I have a mission and that I really need to not give up on myself. And then also plant medicines like mushrooms, bufo, ayahuasca, kambo, sananga, like all those things have helped. This year particularly though, has been the first year where I've done things like peyote, bufo, kambo, and other plant-based DMT medicines. The bufo, are you all familiar with bufo? Yeah, that's some really powerful. Have you guys done it? Yeah, that's some really powerful stuff. Like the bufo, doing bufo is when I actually felt the trauma leave my body. The vibration of the trauma that my body held on to from the impact by cars, from the stroke, like all that energy stored in my body. And the bufo helped me release it. And yeah, super wow. Like the whole time while I was on it, I was just like, the trauma leaving my body. So I just shook. I shook just for like 20 minutes straight while this shaman was just making these sounds, whipping me with this leaf. Yeah. And so that has really helped a lot. And then I recently did Peyote Ceremony. I didn't know anything about it, and I don't go looking for these things. I get invited. And I got invited to this the most sacred thing I've ever had the honor and privilege to be a part of. And the Peyote Ceremony helped me integrate everything. It helped me drop in to my here and now. Because even though I was still overcoming, I still messed up. I'm still all over and doing what I need to do. I was still like spread thin kind of. And now, after the Peyote Ceremony, I've been able to concentrate better and actually not feel all that old vibration anymore. And I'm kind of like in a in-between state, like, wow, like it's over. It's really over. and the work comes after that, and embodying that. And I'm still very much in the middle of my journey here right now. How am I on time?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay. Let's see. Is there any other questions? Yes?
Have you ever entered any salsa competition?
No, not yet. Not yet.
You'll
No.
win.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna try it because I'm the biggest aficionado.
Okay, yes. Yes.
Where are you heading next, or are you staying in SoCal? Or?
Oh yeah, I'll be in Sedona for like about a week, and then going back to SoCal. After the peyote, I got some next steps, clear next steps, and that's to create a foundation. I need a structured foundation because I cannot survive on my current way of operating. So I have to put time into this and get it self-sustaining enough so I can continue the other work.